get to our top headlines tonight. These stories are real new now. It's Super Tuesday, and we're plugged into elections in Arkansas. Voters cast their ballot in Harrison today. We show you where results stand right now. And we take you live to Coyotes in Springfield, where our Jesse Inman has been covering a watch party for Democratic hopeful Senator Bernie Sanders. Devastation in Nashville tonight as the city begins to pick up the pieces after a deadly tornado. We explore how emergency operations work locally in case of a similar situation. Ozarks Fox News at 9 starts right now.
And now, local election results and analysis from your local election headquarters.
Good evening and welcome to our Super Tuesday coverage. I'm Jennifer Abreu. Tonight, 14 states are hosting presidential primary elections, and that includes the state of Arkansas. Polls closed there just a few hours ago. Hundreds of voters in Harrison cast their ballots tonight, and we have those results for you. So let's take a look at some new numbers just into the newsroom right now. Here's a breakdown of the Democratic candidates in the Arkansas presidential primary. 31 delegates up for grabs in the natural state tonight. We do want to let you know also about Mosey Boyd. She was on the ballot there as well. She is an attorney in that state. As we can see, Tulsi Gabbard still on the ballot there as well. This is the Arkansas presidential primary for the Republican Party. President Donald Trump taking 97% of those votes right there. We also have a team of reporters covering Super Tuesday. Our Jesse Inman is live at a watch party for Bernie Sanders tonight at Coyotes Adobe Cafe in Springfield. And our Madison Heaver is in studio with us. She will have more on what the race means for Missouri coming up next week. But let's begin with Jesse. He's keeping a close eye on election results as they roll in. Jesse, we know that watch party was organized by the local Bernie Sanders campaign. How are people feeling there right now?
Yeah, you know, it's mostly calm here right now. A few pops here and there from the crowd as, you know, they've got the CNN coverage here on the screen with Bernie winning both, projected to win both Colorado and Vermont tonight. So a few pops from the crowd here for that. But, you know, results as they start to roll in this evening. The local campaign here in Greene County has organized this event, and they've had, you know, quite a good crowd turnout tonight. Probably about 30 or 40 people. You can hear them behind me right now. And, you know, they actually, Greene County has been pretty good for Bernie. Back in 2016, they were good for him then. Tonight, though, lots on the line. They are keeping a close eye on these results, and, you know, it's closer than they expected right now. I spoke to co-organizer Amy Ramirez, and she said that, you know, with 3 candidates dropping out in just the last 4 days, it's changed the game quite a bit and made things a bit more unpredictable tonight.
Since 2 candidates have dropped out, that really does change the polls and the demographics of voters. And so now it's a little bit more intense, I think, in terms of looking at the states and what the numbers look like in those states, because Biden and Bloomberg are surprising us just a little bit. So we're just going to wait it out and see if it does become a victory for us as Bernie people here.
Now, right now, so far, what we've seen is Biden with a lead in quite a few states, but Bernie, according to CNN reports, has clinched a couple of states tonight, still in the lead for 1 or 2 of those. But right now, they're really kind of gearing up for next Tuesday here in Greene County, where as I said earlier, been very good for Bernie in Greene County, where actually back in 2016, he earned more votes than Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump at that time. We'll have more for you at 10 over on Color 10. In Springfield, Jesse Inman, Ozarks First.
All right, Jesse, thank you. Now, 4 main candidates are hoping to be the Democratic presidential nominee. Former Vice President Joe Biden, Senator Bernie Sanders, Senator Elizabeth Warren, and former New York City Mayor Mike Bloomberg. Let's take a look at how they're doing tonight. Here's a look at those numbers. It looks like this is the Super Tuesday numbers coming in right here. We have numbers from Tennessee. Looks like 57% are in right now. Biden with 40% of those votes. Colorado, 77% of those votes in. And Bernie Sanders, 36%. He is taking the lead there, followed by Bloomberg and then Biden. Texas, a big state tonight, the second biggest prize tonight with 228 delegates, 36% of those votes in, and Bernie Sanders with 28%. Taking the lead right there. All right. We also know California polls just closed there right now. They're 2 hours behind us, 7 p.m. That's when those polls closed. We'll have those numbers later on as well. A total of 1,991 delegates up for grabs. California and Texas, the big states tonight. Well, moving on now, Super Tuesday is sure to have a big impact on the eventual Democratic nominee. Ozarks Fox's Madison Heaver is here to explain that significance. Madison, what makes today, Super Tuesday, so important in the world of politics?
Yeah, Jen, the importance of Super Tuesday for the Democrats can't be understated. Tonight is a big step forward in the presidential race, and the reason for that is about 1/3 of the delegates are up for grabs, and that's just today. Now, to put that in perspective, only 5% of the delegates had been chosen before today. There's over 1,300 delegates that will be awarded tonight, and candidates need over 1,900 total to win the nomination on the first ballot. So a big chunk of that will be pledged tonight. While Super Tuesday is a big deal, I talked with political science professor Dr. Dan Ponder. He says while Missouri isn't one of the most important states when it comes to delegates, it certainly isn't the least important. And after tonight, Ponder says we may have a better idea of who will become the potential leader in the polls heading into next week when Missourians head to the polls for Missouri's primary.
It's the first real big sort of preview of what the support is and where it is. Either way, on Tuesday the 10th, I think Missouri is going to have some impact because, like I said, about 1/5 of the delegates available that day are going to come out of Missouri. People are going to really start to look at electability and viability to make it to the nomination based on their perceptions of their electability in November. It's going to have an impact, a big impact on how people are going to calculate their votes next Tuesday.
And as I mentioned, next Tuesday, March 10th, is Missouri's primary. Now, keep in mind, if you go out to vote in the primary, you'll be required to choose a party to vote with: Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, Green Party, and Constitution.
Madison, thank you. Let's check back in Arkansas. Some more numbers coming in from the natural state for District 100 in Baxter County. That's where Mountain Home is. And we will look at some numbers. We have the Republican state representative race going on over there. Paige Evans is running against incumbent Nelda Speaks. Now let's take a look at results coming in now. It looks like Nelda Speaks with over 1,500 votes there with 58% of the votes, and then Paige Evans with 42. And don't forget, we have updated numbers from races in Arkansas on our website, ozarksfirst.com. Happening now, the city of Nashville and much of central Tennessee picking up the pieces tonight after devastating tornadoes ripped through the state early this morning. Right now, at least 24 deaths are being reported. Officials are unsure of how many people are considered missing tonight. The storm's also leaving tens of thousands of residents without power tonight as crews work to evaluate the damage and being able to make repairs to infrastructure. President Trump will be in Nashville on Friday, showing his support after the deadly storms. Well, back here in Springfield, city leaders are focusing on Severe Weather Awareness Week through Friday. And our Bailey Stroll talked with Greene County Emergency Management to see what plans are in place if a similar tragedy were to hit here locally. Bailey, what did you find out today?
Yeah, you know, the Ozarks is no stranger to tornadoes, and Amy Russell tells me that can make it easy to forget how dangerous and deadly tornadoes can really be. She says this Nashville disaster is a tragic reminder. And if a major disaster would strike, the Emergency Operations Center would be activated here in Springfield. It's a self-containing unit that would bring together all city and county agencies to find out what needs to get done in the aftermath. Anything from reuniting families to getting water and utilities back on. Designed with Joplin in mind, Russell says the office has never had to fully activate that center. But if something like Nashville happened, say maybe in downtown Springfield, that would be one of the first steps.
As with anything, preparedness, whether you do live in the middle of a field on a farm or whether you live in a loft in downtown Springfield, being prepared for tornadoes is important because they do not discriminate. Obviously, they don't discriminate on location, on if they hit a high-rise building or a barn. They can be extremely dangerous and deadly and destructive, and we're seeing that unfold, unfortunately, in Nashville, of course, today.
Staffers with Convoy of Hope in Springfield have already headed out to Nashville to start helping with disaster relief. You can see that they loaded up supplies this morning. Local volunteers will be distributing food, bottled drinks, and hygiene products to those affected.
Bailey, thank you. Let's check in with Jamie at the Weather Lab now. Jamie, what can we expect overnight and into tomorrow?
Well, clear and quiet right now, or at least mostly clear and quiet. That severe weather threat from last night has been pushed down to the Gulf Coast, where it will remain the rest of this week. It's smooth sailing for us right into this upcoming weekend. A look at that in your forecast next.
You're watching Ozarks Fox News at 9.